go to see it in any of your U.S. theaters, if you live near any of the U.S. theaters that might play it, well, hey, just remember 9/11. And my answer to that was and is, you're damn fucking right I remember 9/11. And that's exactly why I'm gonna go fucking see it. It's not that complicated when you really define the things truthfully. You know, a fear-based solution is not a reason-based solution, therefore it's unreasonable and not a viable solution. The real insult was when the American corporations that own and control the various movie theater chains, as well as, in the end, Sony Pictures backed out of the deal and said, we're going to pull... First, the theater chain said, we're not going to show the movie because Sony let them out of their contracts. And Sony did that in order so that they could then pull the movie, because they don't want any more cyber attacks and they don't want the information that the attackers already have to be leaked further or whatever. You know, it's basically out of fear and threats. And that's exactly the kind of shit I hate. So it's not so much that people threaten you. That may or may not happen. That's out of your control. But what do you do about it is your choice. And I was basically disappointed in Sony and AMC and Carmichael with their immediate folding up in the face of all that, giving in to the fear, giving in to the stupid terrorism, which wasn't even that good. I mean, it's so fucking stupid. North Korea should have just ignored it in the first fucking place, and then these guys should have just come back, you know, highlighting or underscoring how it's obviously these Koreans are insecure and it's a big joke. What do you think they're upset about? Because it's not the truth? They're upset because it knows it's the truth. They know it's the truth. They know the whole thing's bullshit. It's exactly what they're afraid of. But meanwhile, we have, you know, various governments, including our own here, sending soldiers off to all kinds of places, getting blown up and killed, supposedly fighting terrorism. You know, protecting the oil fields, that's the secondary mission, I'm sure. That's not the primary focus, I'm sure. Right? But anyways, they come back all blown up in pieces or in boxes, supposedly fighting for us. And, you know, Carmichael, AMC, Sony, oh God, oh, give in. Fucking assholes. This is me summing it up. I hope, you know, I please, you know, it would be so great if there was no more bullshit, so that I wouldn't have to keep feeling like I need to keep annotating and updating the video. But in the end, it's like, look, the theme is terrorism and bullshit, and what terrorism and bullshit is actually afraid of. And that is humor, in my opinion. Artwork, humor, all that kind of stuff. And the proof is that's what they've been basically targeting. Right? Those are the people that they really target the most. Be it in lovely France or wherever. The US, the North Koreans targeting the movie kind of thing, which is, it's just absurd. The whole thing is fucking stupid. They have this thing. They had the thing. Remember 9/11. You know, if you live near, if you go to see it in any of your U.S. theaters, if you live near any of the U.S. theaters that might play it, well, hey, just remember 9/11. And my answer to that was and is, you're damn fucking right I remember 9/11. And that's exactly why I'm gonna go fucking see it. That, to me, that's all the more reason. All the more reason to make sure not only it gets out there and then I see it. As I said earlier, you know, it's practically a patriotic duty at this point. I have to see it. Thanks to the North Koreans, they've made it, you know, almost a patriotic duty to see this fucking movie. Yesterday, by then it's been established that North Korea probably is the cause. However, they don't officially say we did it. So these CEOs are backing off without having any actual proof. They're just a random group did it. But in the end, the independent art house theaters got together and said, we will show it. And here it is, at the Crest Theater in Westwood. Proudly presents The Interview. Christmas Day, when it's supposed to open at these times. Guess what I'm about to do? I'll see you guys later.
There it is.
Well, that's it. It's over. And it was actually pretty good. It's not so incredibly stupid that you're like, oh god, what a waste of, you know, time and money. If you're in the mood for a silly comedy, because obviously it's a lot of that. But that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be satirical. It's supposed to be, you know, a joke. It's not supposed to be a documentary, a hard-hitting, whatever. News. It's just a silly joke, which is kind of the point of what I was making as far as the thing being having all these problems. It's silly that all this is based over a stupid, you know, comedy. And I ended up seeing it. I ended up seeing it on Christmas Eve when I found out it was coming out. The art house movies decided to put it out there. Naturally, they're the ones who are thinking about, you know, civil rights and political stance and principles and all that. These are the movies, the meaning of life. These are the movies that art house theaters generally support. And, you know, a little bit above and beyond your average stuff. So once it became a viable possibility, they all said, hey, if you put it out, we'll play it. We'll show it. And that's exactly what happened. Near me, there's an art house theater. It's actually a beautiful theater. And they played it. They showed it. And I went there the opening night after Christmas. On my way home, I left a little early so I could make the last show that night, December 25th. Whatever group is terrorizing these people, the bullshit guardians of peace, or whatever they call themselves, or flaming dragon, or whatever it was, they never did anything about it once it came out. There was a bunch of threats: if you do more, blah blah blah, we're gonna punish you more, and giving away more of your information secrets. As far as I know, nothing ever happened. I'm running out of fuel. gonna put it in neutral. Don't get hit by a car. Anyway. They never, as far as I know, they never did anything about it after the initial threat and after the initial attack. You know, everyone just kind of said, of course it's fucking North Korea. And then that was the end of that. And later on, when I first told a friend, between the days of when I first heard about it, which was like maybe the 15th or something like that, I forgot exactly when, a few days earlier than my, when I first recorded it on the 21st, I just saw it in the newspaper. And I was like, what? And then I might have seen it a few other places, and I was like, that's it, game on, I gotta yell and scream about this. So that's what I did. Sorry about that. But I really think it was a huge fucking stupid ass cowardly mistake, you know. I a few days before, but after I already recorded my first rant, so it had to be like the 22nd or the 23rd, but it's still not Christmas Day yet. I'm talking to a friend of mine, and we start talking about this whole thing. It's happening, you know, as we speak, and I said, you know, something like, yeah, I'm pissed, and I did a recording, and I'm angry, and, you know, they can still save it. It's not the 25th yet. As far as I was concerned, and what I said in my video was, you know, your failures as Americans, fuck you for being cowards, have some fucking backbone, you know. So I'm telling my friend that. And he starts talking about, well, yeah, you know, because it's like the Islam thing. You say something they don't like, and then they start attacking you. And that really pissed me off even more. But the bottom line is, now that I've had more time to think about it, I think I can clarify what my position is, which is that I'm not saying that saying stuff like this or that won't get people mad. What I'm saying is not saying stuff like this or that because you are afraid that someone's going to break into your computer and steal all your files and expose you as an asshole. It turns out, you know, big surprise, there was a bunch of assholes working in Hollywood, happened to be working at Sony this time, in this case. That's not the reason not to do it. The threat is not the reason not to do it. Because what you're doing is you're justifying their position. You're giving their solution of violence. You're saying that's a legitimate argument. Because I'm not going to stand up to it. I'm going to give into it. Because I'm not saying legitimate like it's right. What I'm saying is legitimate like it works. As long as you let it work, why would people not do it? The thing's working, so let's just keep doing what's working, basically. Because, like I said, at this point it was the principle of the thing, and they were not going to have me seriously almost in honor and in remembrance of 9/11 and any other terrorist bullshit. Absolutely not going to give in to any threats on that count. You know, double fuck you, assholes. Double, triple decker fuck you. So then the solution to me ends up being, I guess we're going to have to make art ourselves and continue to satirize and continue to make fun of how dumb these people are and continue to not be threatened, because if we are, we're playing into their hands. In other words, if you don't want the terrorists to win, you must absolutely not be terrified. If you're responding in fear, if you're, you know, withholding information or ideas in fear, you're expressing your ideas through fear, then the terrorists have won. That's exactly what they want you to do. They don't want you to be free, brave, and I don't care what side of the fence the terrorism is coming from. Whether it's we're going to blow you up or you're hearing scary stories in your own news, that's all terrorism, and that's all meant to manipulate you. You can prove that is none of that is offering a solution, a viable solution. A viable solution is not obey them. A viable solution is not give in to them. That's bullshit. That's what they want you to think, but that's a total lie. So when that's offered, then you know it's a lie. That's exactly the same solution that the terrorists are offering you. You know, obey and comply. To me, that's not a solution. That's giving in. Giving in is not a solution. Because if it's based on fear, that means it's not based on reason, and unreasonable is not a solution, period. It's not that complicated when you really define the things truthfully. You know, a fear-based solution is not a reason-based solution, therefore it's unreasonable and not a viable solution. And since the terrorists and basically everybody with some kind of political agenda are actually terrified of being made fun of, they're terrified of being satirized and ridiculed in the public eye, and that's why they act like this North Korean deal, for example. That's all the more reason to do it. Now that you know you do have a weapon, just telling a joke about them, anybody, any you know, halfway smart person can figure that out and what to do or say about it. One of us, me or whoever else, can't do it alone. But all of us working together, yes, that can make a huge difference. And it won't cost one life, it won't cost one gun. You know, you don't have to kill anybody. Now, if you enjoyed any of that, or any of this whole big fucking mess that I've been trying to get through, and you'd like to share that, let's do everybody a big favor and spank the fuck out of those like and subscribe buttons. And if you didn't like it, I really think you should spank those like and subscribe buttons anyway. You know you want to.